All this Polo Cup action is proudly brought to you by Volkswagen Motorsport, Dunlop Tyres, and Ferodo, the #1 in brakes. Welcome to Zwartkops, and a big welcome to the spectators back in the house on the sidelines and ability to get back into motorsport. It is fantastic to have you all back, and we're looking forward to bringing you all the action now from the 25th anniversary of Volkswagen Polo Cup. The championship is wide open and still up for grabs. The top three in the championship are going to be telling us exactly how they feel going into this round, because it is exceptionally close. Let's go and catch up with them in the pre-race press conference. Arnie Neveling, got some work to do to catch the man on your left-hand side.
Yeah, absolutely. He's been on a roll this year. He's definitely been the man to beat. We are quite far behind on points, but we're just sort of giving it our all this weekend. Try and see if we can salvage something from the championship.
Leighton, after a perfect weekend at Red Star Raceway, that was Mom's birthday present. What are you going to do for Dad's?
Yeah, Dad's birthday present's definitely going to be a bit harder to do this weekend. It seems really tight in the front, so I think for quali it's going to be quite thrilling. But yeah, we're going to give it our all and see where we are. I mean, like you mentioned, we have this gap in the championship, and we can just maintain it if need be. But yeah, definitely still sending it as hard as we ever do.
Yuri, from your side, that gap is a little bit bigger, but it's not doable yet.
Yeah, nothing's impossible. There's still a lot of points to get, a lot to gain and a lot to lose. The pace this weekend so far has been solid from our team, so we're definitely in the ballpark now that we can fight. But yeah, I think we're just here to have a good race, and if we can pick up a win or two, that'd be cool. Arnold and I have made small mistakes here and there, and we've paid the price for it, but that's how it should be. So maybe there'll be a mistake, maybe we can put him under pressure, but he looks like he's got his head strong on his shoulders. So.
It's going to be a tough one. Qualifying still to be done, and in some tricky conditions. A little bit of wind that's picked up here over the weekend. But qualifying is always important at every single circuit we go to. Teams are going to be trying to work together. Team Red Racing into Africa, Stradale Motorsport will be working hard. There's a couple of drivers out there that are all on their own sim. Yuri Swart is one of them. And of course, watch out for Tasman Pepper after an incredible outing at Red Star Raceway. She might be up in the top 6 after qualifying, looking to try and get into that all-important Super Pole shootout. Poseidon puts it onto pole, but it's his teammate Charles Visser with his best ever qualifying. Let's catch up now with him in pit lane. Sure, Boykie, that was impressive stuff. Best ever qualifying, and now to go and do it again.
I am absolutely super chuffed. I don't know how I pulled that out of the bag, but I'm obviously very impressed with myself. But going out for Super Pole now, obviously I'm in the top 6 now. So I'll take what I get, but even just qualifying in the top 3 at the moment is absolutely insane. So I'm looking forward to Super Pole now and see what we can do tomorrow.
A slightly shorter circuit. It's 3 cars at a time that'll be out on track. The last couple of times we've had all 6. Natium Samanga impressed again for Zwartkops. Back in the mix there for the top 6. Yuri Swart doing everything right to be in that top 6 and the hunt for what is going to be Super Pole. Yet again, another impressive performance coming out of Jaden Else, but it's Charles Visser, Clinton Besaidnout and Leighton Faree, Team Red Racing, all looking for the top 3 honours as Super Pole comes to a close. In the closing stages, Leighton Faree looked like he's got it. No, Besaidnout's taken it from him, and that will determine race 1's grid. Now for race 2, Leighton Faree has decided to draw first. He's gone for the middle bottom row. Is that going to put him on the front? No, 4th place. He's not bad, he's not too concerned. Oh, Nati alongside him in 3rd. He'll be happy with that. Oh, Tasman's on the front row. She'll be stoked about that. Can Charles Visser draw pole? No, he's dropped down to 6. He's unhappy about that, as you can see. Pole position is still there. Will Yuri get it? Yes, he will. Yuri Swart has got pole position, and that means Besaidnout will be down in 5th place. And that's how they'll line up for race number 2 later on. Things have certainly turned around this weekend. Fantastic qualifying, got you onto the front row, and then Super Pole. Take us through what your plans are for tomorrow.
Yeah, unfortunately now the 5th didn't put us great for the second race. I'm happy with the pole. We must now just convert that pole into a win, and then hopefully for the second race get some good points, because we're starting right at the back. And it's not the best starting at the back, as there's always chaos, but I'm sure with our starts that we had in the past, I'm sure we can fix those and definitely work on tomorrow and get the win.
I'm not quite according to plan in Super Pole and qualifying, but great luck there in the draw. First time for you as well?
Yeah, first time in about 3 seasons that I've drawn it myself.
in about 20 races. The highest has been third, and in PE I got it gifted to me thanks to Keegan. But no, our quali was all right. The car wasn't great, and we managed to get in the top 6, which is a good testament to how far we've come, that even if the car doesn't do it, we can do it. We made a slight pressure adjustment. Super Pole definitely brought us closer, and it was a solid lap. Definitely was some left on the table, but in Polo Cup, if you want to be pole, you can't leave anything on the table. So yeah, no, a really good track to start pole, one less push to pass for the championship. I think clear air is good for the car, good for the temps. I think there's a potential chance tomorrow that we can claw some good points back and have a solid day at Zwartkops. So fingers crossed, some great starting positions and some new blood in front. And I think it's a very tasty top 6 for tomorrow, I think. So excited.
The front row looks like this for the first race. You've got Clinton Besaidenout. Absolutely amazing qualifying from him, just to pip out his teammate Leighton Free. So the perfect weekend has not started for Leighton Free again. He's got some work to do. And in the second race, after that lucky draw, you've got Yuri Swart on pole and Tasman Pepper alongside him. It's going to be a mind-blowing day. Let's wait and see exactly what happens and catch us off the break for race 1. Welcome back to coverage from the 25th anniversary of Volkswagen Polo Cup. It's absolutely mind-blowing to see the top 6 split by 0.2 of a second. And the man at front, Clinton Besaidenout, literally 1/10 of a second quicker than his teammate Leighton Free. 1, 2, 3 for Team Red, but some amazing racing about to happen. Let's go check out what happens in race number 1 and what's on the grid. Having a look at that grid, Clinton Besaidenout and Leighton Free, Team Red Racing on the front row, Yuri Swart and Charles Visser on the second, Simunga and Jaden Els is the third row, Tasman Pepper and Arnie Neveling with some work to do there in the Puma and Inter Africa Stradale cars. Hammond and Kwanda Mokoena ahead of Fenta, Cara Hill, Dobby van der Merwe, Farin Basha, Lonica Martins, and look out for Damien Hammond on the back of the field coming through there for his team. Big team battles at the front end. A little bit of extra money going to Besaidenout this weekend, courtesy of Dunlop and ATS. He gets the 2,500 Rand for the pole position. We're on board with Tasman Pepper as the lights are about to go on and off. As they go off, we go racing. And it's Tasman Pepper trying to get alongside Jaden Els. Jaden Els with a slightly better start, heading down towards turn 1. Good start coming out of Besaidenout. Great start coming out of Leighton Free. Who's going to have what it takes? But look at Yuri Swart. Yuri Swart has split the two of them, going down into turn 1 and into turn 2. He cements that position with all 3 of Team Red on his tail. Led out at the moment by Besaidenout. Leighton Free's on the inside, Schalfus around the outside as they came out of turn 2. There's JP van der Walt. Didn't really mention him through the race so far, but he's up into the pressure that's being applied now by our onboard cameraman. This is Farin Basha. Farin Basha losing out ever so slightly to Tasman Pepper and to JP van der Walt as they came through turn 1 and 2. On to 4 now. And there is a move on the inside from Basha's teammate, Kwanda Mokoena, squeezing him out, and Mokoena moves up. Ooh, a couple of wheels on the dirt there. Could that possibly been Lonica Martins? I think it might have been. No, it was probably Ari Neveling. Ari Neveling right up the front end. This is Leighton Free looking back at Charles Visser. Look in the background as Tasman Pepper applies pressure onto Jaden Els. They come out of turn 4 and 5. Now into 6. And up into 6, it's a right-hander that flicks through into a left. You can see just defensive driving coming out of Leighton Free, trying to get the power down to close that gap. It's a small gap that's opened up between himself and his teammate Besaidenout. And there's JP van der Walt already showing a wheel to Arnie Neveling coming into the final corner. Oh, it got really close, and two-wheeled action coming out of that Platinum Wheels car of JP van der Walt. Also part of the Team Red Racing stable. He's got 2 of the Inter Africa Stradale Motorsport team on his tail. And right on them, it's Dean Fenter, Cara Hill, just ahead there of the man with a little bit of an ailing body this weekend. Let's have a look at this from the start. This is Yuri Swart just opening up an absolutely perfect start, threads the needle between the 2 Team Red cars and takes the whole shot into turn 1. Brilliant stuff there from Umpy. That is how you do it. Get to the front, and now clean air is what you need at Zwartkops, and that is exactly what Yuri Swart has got. Can he keep it all together now at the front end? Look at the mid-pack battle starting to rage. Jaden Els starting to come under massive pressure there from Naitium Simunga. Then right behind them, it looks like there's going to be a little bit more pressure coming from Tasman. Oh, Tasman Pepper late on the brakes onto Naitium Simunga shuts the door. Tasman tucks in very gently. Smooth and finesse style coming out of the young lady driver, and on her tail looking in the rearview mirror, you can see she's under a massive amount of threat, and she's saying, hey, that's not how you do it. Arnie's giving her a little tap. She's saying, no, come on now, let's play the game nicely. And the Puma car and Pepper Racing stable machine feeling the pressure there from Arnie Neveling. They've had a few occasions where they've gone at it in karting in the past, so she'll definitely know where to place that car to keep Arnie out, but she wasn't happy about the fact there was a little bit of tapping coming from behind there. Then, on the tailpiece of that, you can see all of a sudden JP van der Walt looking to climb into some of that action. He wants to get through there and possibly spoil the day for both those cars in front of him. Charles Visser dropping back into Jaden Els's clutches. Nati's lost a little bit of ground now. You can see Tasman concentrating on Arnie, and Arnie's dropped back. He looks like he might have missed a gear. Arnie might have missed a gear there, and JP van der Walt goes round. And it looks like the 3 Stradale cars now going to be line astern behind him. Yes, they are. He's made a great move there and onto the back end of Tasman Pepper. Going to try and run with Tasman Pepper and get away from those Stradale cars. Quantum McQuena actually got through as well. So McQuena got through and around the outside of Arnie Neveling. Arnie Neveling making a big mistake there with that misgear coming out of turn 2, and it's cost him dearly. 2 positions at this point in time. Just further back there, we've got Farin Basha. He is the back end of this 3-way battle for Stradale Motorsport, and a much better outing this time out for this young man. He had some problems in the previous round at Red Star with brakes, and certainly battled all race long in both of the heats. This time out looks like it's a lot better and a lot more firing coming out of that machine of his, and he's running with the same kind of pace as his 2 teammates. 2 teammates fighting hard as they go down to G&H Transport corner. And there's a move on the inside from Arnie Neveling, forcing Quanda ever so slightly wide. Can he make it stick though as they're going to turn 1? Maybe cement that move? Yes, he does. And Farin Basha tries to go with him. Oh, Basha was late coming in there. A little bit of pressure onto Quanda. Quanda McQuena feeling that pressure as he looks from the inside. Farin Basha's going to go for that inside line. He's got the inside line perfectly done. It might compromise his drive coming out though. He's going to have to cut the apex very, very early. But if he comes out of that one, he may just be able to make that one stick, and he's done it. Ahead of his teammate, Quantum McQuena had no answer, but McQuena may have a little push to pass. Let's see if he uses it down the back straight. There go the first 6 cars. Tasman Pepper looking for a way through there on Natium Samanga. Samanga sees her coming, shuts the door. So the Puma Pepper Racing car on the tailpiece there of Squadra Course, and coming along for the ride just behind that, it is JP van der Walt leading out the huge attack. And look at that huge attack. We go on board here with Tasman Pepper as he tries to go around the outside of Natium Samanga into turn 5. Watch the cutback here. She'll try and get the drive onto the inside for Kenwood. Not quite close enough though. Nati just didn't compromise the drive out. Oh, he's made a mistake. Runs a bit wide. Is Tasman going to capitalize on that? Or she tries to. But fortunately, he kept the car in the right position. So Tasman's going to have to drive around the outside of Natium Samanga, be even later on the brakes than him into the final corner. And it just doesn't work out. How is that? Right above all the action here from our drone. Brilliant bit of camera work there as they all went into G&H Transport corner. Arnie Neveling now, right back into the thick of it. 3 Masters competitors at it right now, if there were a Masters class here, as there used to be in Polo Cup. And Arnie now putting the pressure onto JP. JP van der Walt opens up the door. Arnie comes alongside. Nati's got a problem. Oh, and it nearly has a bit of an incident there between JP van der Walt. JP van der Walt very lucky to miss out Natium Samanga, as he looks like he also missed a gear. I think he went from 2nd to 5th there as opposed to 2nd to 3rd, and it's cost him dearly. The drive wasn't available, and he's dropped into the clutches of Quantum McQuena and Farin Basha. Farin Basha goes around his outside. He tucks in behind Basha as they go through turn 4, and McQuena tucks in right behind his good friend there from Squadra Course. So the battle is on. Let's have a look at this from Farin Basha's point of view as they come out there. Watch for the slow and missed gear there from Natium Samanga. Just missing the gear, allowing both JP van der Walt and Arnie through. And then around the outside comes Farin Basha and Quantum McQuena. As he goes around the outside onto that back straightaway, he'll just be able to just outbrake the youngster from Squadra Course and get through. And that's exactly how it ended up. Tasman Pepper across the line now, putting a little bit of a margin and away from JP van der Walt. But she's got a lot of work to get up the road to try and get onto the back end of Jada Nels. Jada Nels hasn't been able to do anything about the 3 Team Red racing cars that are sitting 2nd, 3rd and 4th place at the moment, and they've had no answer to Yuri Swart, who's got the clean air. All the drivers have spoken about it all weekend long. That clean air out front in a Polo race here at Zwartkops is vital, and Yuri Swart is capitalizing on it right now. Ahead of Besaidnout, ahead of Free. Leighton Freed sitting in 3rd place, not putting pressure on to Clinton Besaidnout, realizing that his 2 rivals in this championship, one of them is up the road, he can see him. The other one, he probably would have got some kind of communication to him in the car via the pit board saying Arnie Neveling is right at the back and not in a concern. So if you sit in 3rd place, it's more about consolidation of this championship right now for Leighton Freed. He doesn't want to throw away the incredible gap he's got coming into this after that perfect round at Red Star Raceway. Yuri Swart looking to try and emulate that perfect round. He has gone from 3rd on the grid up into pole position, and of course possible win here for him coming along as well as they come through, and it is first race of the day and the first time he's won at Zwartkops, and you can see what that means, Stumpy. He is exceptionally ecstatic about that, and he's worked hard for it, there's no doubt about it. Let's get confirmation of that one. Of course, Swart ahead of Besaidnout, Farie ahead of Charles Visser. Then it was Jaden Owls, Tasman Pepper and JP van der Walt, Arnie Neveling, Quantum McQuena and Farin Basha making up the top 10. You're on pole, but the hookup wasn't as good as the car behind you.
Yeah, unfortunately the car didn't want to get off the line, and then Umpi had a blitz start. Well done to him for the win. From there, like he said, clear air is the king, and he had it the whole race, and there was no way I was going to catch him without clear air. And yeah, unfortunately we're starting our 5th, for the next race. I see some of the cars look bruised and battered. Hopefully mine doesn't look like that at the end of the day. But yeah, got to say thanks to the team for the hard work. Let's see if we can at least get a top 3 for the next race.
From the second row of the grid there, you managed to squeeze through. I don't know how you got there, but that was the most ecstatic and incredible start I've seen out of you in your career.
Yeah, look, the starts this year have all been epic. We haven't lost a place yet on lap 1 on the starts ever, and I think that one was just lightning, and that gap was closing, and I thought on this track, that's the only chance you're going to get, and with one less push to pass was the only chance. And clear air was king in that race. You can have as many push passes as you want, but clear air was going to win that race. So congrats to Clinton, kept me honest the whole way, and still a solid result for him. But yeah, I think this is for my team. So thanks.
No one expected Yuri Swart to come to the field like the hot knife through butter like he did at the start. What an incredible start there. Hooked up off the line, got the clean air and stayed out front. He starts on pole next race. Can you believe that? Can he go and do the double and spoil the day and potentially keep the championship wide open for heading to Kyle Army at the 9 hour? It's going to be amazing. Come and join us off the break for race number 2. Welcome back to action from the Volkswagen Polo Cup 25th anniversary. We're heading into race number 2 now, and we've got Yuri Swart on pole position after his first race win. Can he go and do the double and potentially keep himself with a mathematical chance of this championship? Let's go and find out. Rolling around now for the form up and onto the grid for race number 2. Yuri Swart, as you heard, on pole position alongside Tasman Pepper. Tasman Pepper will look to use that inside line. It is always the better line to be on, particularly on a standing start here at Zwartkops. Let's see if that additional bit of grip out there. Jaden Else will show us the amount of grip as Dean Fenter comes alongside him. He had a fantastic second lap time to get him that high up on the grid. Let's see if he's able to stay up there now. Dean Fenter has battled a little bit through the season in the right motorsport machine. Oh, Kwanda Makwena's battling. Oh, a couple of misgears there from Kwanda and a couple of cars nearly right up his tailpiece. You can see Cora Hill just avoided, and his teammate had to go evasive as well. Yuri Swart hits the front, Tasman Pepper's in second. Leighton Freeze right on her tail. Alongside him is his teammate, Clinton Besaidnote, who will be looking to try and change things around here in terms of his luck. We're on board with Foreign as he dives on the inside of Arnie Neveling, losing a little bit of ground there to Dean Fenter. That number 27 right car is going really well, and much better than it has all season long. Here comes Nati up for the grabs into turn 4, looking to try and squeeze up into 4th or 5th place there as he came out of turn 4. In fact, it's into 4th place, going side by side with Charles Visser. Behind them, Jaden lines up. Then you got Dean Fenter looking for opportunity. Here comes Leighton Free late on the brakes on the inside of Clinton Besaidnote. Besaidnote will give him a little bit of room to play, although Besaidnote still has an outside shot of a top 3 in this championship. He's not going to hinder his teammates' ability to try and secure as many points as possible, particularly due to the fact that Yuri's already taken a win here. But you can see there are no team orders, and Leighton Free is going to have to work hard to get through on his teammate, and does so eventually. Charles Visser goes with him though. Charles Visser tucks on the inside line and might just be able to get slightly better drive. Besaidnote comes across on him and tries to give him a little bit of muscle, but he manages just to hang on, and Besaidnote drops behind his 2 teammates, losing out 1 position to Leighton and now the second one to Charles Visser. So Clinton Besaidnote drops down in the way in terms of the leading car of Team Red Racing. It's the reverse order there from the first one as they come onto the little short strip towards turn 3. Behind them you can see they're starting to line up for opportunities if they can. Better run there from Clinton Besaidnote. Maybe a push to pass to come into play to get back at Charles Visser on the back straight away. And has he been able to do it into turn 4? Looks like he might have just got the drive, and yes he has. Gets that position back again. Takes 1 back from his teammate Charles Visser. So Team Red Racing fighting hard there for 3rd place on track at this stage. But now as they get to the top, you can see they've pulled a smart margin there, so Leighton Free will leave them to fight for 4th. Jaden Else is going to join that battle for 4th as he comes late on the brakes on the inside, and a little tag between himself and Nati, and there's some more rubbing there between the two of them. He's holding that inside line. Nati Msimanga will probably have to give that up slightly, or does he? Yes, he does. And he eventually just forces his way through there in the King Price Extreme car. But Nati is coming back for Zwartkops. Dean Fenter right on their tail, then it's Arnie Neveling. How's that for a lineup? Absolutely amazing stuff. Rookies and seasoned campaigners going at it here in the 25th anniversary of Volkswagen Polo Cup. Across the line, another lap completed. Have a look at the impressive form there from Trevor Bland, stepping into the seat for the first time into the Trinity Protection Services team along with Damien Hammond. So Bland back into Polos. It's been a while since he's been there, and I'm sure he's working up with a bit of surprise here as to the pace that's changed amongst these drivers. Dean Fenter's got slightly better pace, as I said. Much better running here from the right motorsport car there of Fenter. He's ahead there of Neveling, he's ahead of Kwanda Makwena, and he's ahead of Foreign Basha as well. As they come onto that back straightaway, look out for Darby van der Merwe. Also, much better run there from him. seems to have got over that little ailment he had earlier on. He was just feeling under the weather on the weekend, having picked up a virus in his hometown, and fortunately he's now back into it in a big way. Lonica Martin's fighting with Corey Hill. Oh, and is that Arnie Neveling going off there? I think, no, it might have been Kwanda or Neveling running off there, and unfortunately Kwanda Mokoena running off the circuit completely after a little mistake going into turn 4. Running out of track to play with and having to go onto the grass. Corey Hill has lost out there now to the battle for the ladies, and that's second place in that ladies battle she's sitting in right now, and she was there and now into third because Lonica Martins has just squeezed up into second place for the ladies side of things. Tasman Pepper, of course, is fighting with the boys right at the front end and doing an excellent job there in the Puma Pepper Racing Polo. It's Foreign Basha now. Great gear change there from him as he comes into turn 1. He starts to close things down now on his teammate. Is there an opportunity for him to beat out Arnie Neveling? It's definitely one of the best outings we've seen under Foreign Basha here at Zwartkops. And he now gets on the inside of Dean Fenter and makes it stick. Coming along for the ride is Darby van der Merwe. Darby wants a way through and he looks to go on the inside of turn 3 and squeeze Fenter out. He does. And all of a sudden they're all lurking there. Fenter might have missed a gear or something coming out of turn 3 because they've all lined up and are going to give Fenter a good run for his money down into turn 4. One of them is Bland. He's on the inside of JP van der Walt. And the Masters are going at it here big time. Great to see the slightly elderly statesmen in this group having a go here. And they're all just as excited and fired up as the youngsters at the front. Darby van der Merwe, now that he's secured that position ahead of the 27 right motorsport car of Fenter, wants to try and bridge the gap a little bit further up to Basha if he can. Lonica Martins continues the battle there with her teammate and with Corey Hill in the Calyx car. But it's Yuri Swart dominating out front. Clean air, as we said, is important here at Zwartkops, and it's exactly what Yuri Swart's had all day long. Looks like there's a good possibility of a double on the day here. It'll be his first double. It was his first win at Zwartkops in the first race, and the first double to follow that will certainly get him fired up for Kyle Army in the final round. Come flying through into turn 1. Line of stern stuff here from Polo Cup. Very, very close racing, as always, in the Volkswagen Polo Cup, and putting on a spectacle of note once again here at Zwartkops at the penultimate round of this championship and the final round of the National Championship Extreme Festival. As they come onto the little short strip, looks like JP wants to go here. Trevor Bland sees him coming, shuts the door. JP van der Walt, looks like he got a little bit of battle scars on the back of that car as well. Here is massive pressure coming from Leighton Free. He wants through on Tasman Pepper. Tasman Pepper is not going to make it easy for him. She's not really involved in the championship, but she's certainly going to have some fun here with these youngsters and show them the way around. Farid hangs on for now onto the tailpiece there of Tasman Pepper. He can see Besaidenote is closing in, so he can't afford to give up the ghost too easily. As they come down on the braking point, you can see Tasman Pepper goes and just puts the wheel to the left-hand side as they go down the hill, just to avoid any overtaking maneuvers that Leighton might attempt. I wonder if he's got a push to pass left. Can he possibly use that to get through on Tasman Pepper, or has Tasman got one left and she's hanging on to it in case of emergencies? They fly down into turn 1. Team Red Racing sitting at the moment in 3, 4 and 5. Tasman Pepper holds them off from attempting to get through to Yuri Swart. Oh, how late on the brakes do you want to be, Clinton Besaidenote? Closing in on Leighton Free. I did say that Leighton would be under pressure here from his teammate. There's no team orders in that team other than what we normally say. Don't take each other out, and particularly don't take out the championship contender. But Besaidenote still wants a chance here. As I said, he's still in with a shot of a top 3 overall, so he needs to score as many points as possible, with Leighton sitting there in 3rd place. 4th place would be good. Oh, and he's actually bump drafting him up the hill. There's a bit of tapping on the back end there from Besaidenote, forcing Leighton Free to just hang on to that car even harder than what he'd normally do. Oh, Yuri Swart running a bit wide here. Is that a problem on the car? Oh no, he's getting it sideways. I think he's just seeing a bit of showboating there. Swart getting a little bit sideways and giving the crowd a bit of a thrill. He knows that this double he's had to work exceptionally hard for. It has never gone his way at Zwartkops. His luck has changed. Is this going to be a deciding factor in this championship? Heading into the final round, we're certainly going to be fired up for that. 2 wins on the day coming out of the Auto Alpine car. And an incredible effort there from Umpy Swart to win out 2 races at Zwartkops. Tasman Pepper finishes up 2nd on the podium after her 2nd place on the grid at the start of this one. And Leighton Free hangs on to the championship lead to the tune of about 17 points, headed into Kyle Army in the final round. Here is the race result. Swart from Pepper, Farid from Besaidenote, ahead of Visser, Els, Msamanga, and a good effort there from Arnie Neveling, Foreign Basha, and Darby van der Merwe to make it into the top 10. An awesome return at Red Star, but a magnificent return to Zwartkops, back on the podium.
Yeah, I mean, it's really tough. It's always tough at Zwartkops. Qualifying is always really close. So if you're out that top 6, it becomes really difficult. And my first flying lap only put me P7. I was 0.2 off of pole. So yeah, first race was a bit tough. Second race I was P5 in quali and drew out second. So had a nice front row start. And I think if you get out in front, you can go because you got some nice clean air. And luckily I had one more extra push to pass than Leighton behind me. So I was able to manage the gap a little bit. He tried on the last lap but was unsuccessful. So yeah, good race. Yuri was really quick this weekend, so well done to him. And yeah, I mean, if we can race in Kyalami, I think it will be really cool.
The championship heading into Kyalami, the final round at the Kyalami 9 hour. As I said, 17 points between Fourie and Swart. Absolutely nothing in it there as well between Swart and Neerveling. And there's a big fight expected at Kyalami. It's all about mathematics now heading into the final round at Kyalami at the 9 hour on the 3rd and 4th of December. Mathematical chance there for Yuri Swart to maybe spoil the day and the year for Leighton Fourie. Highly unlikely with Leighton Fourie going in with such big confidence. 2 third places on the day will certainly keep him up there. But have a look at Tasman Pepper's performance today. Really great to see her back on the podium. Let's see what happens now at the final round at Kyalami at the 9 hour for the 25th anniversary of Volkswagen Polo Cup. We'll see you there. All this Polo Cup action was proudly brought to you by Ferodo, #1 in brakes, Dunlop Tyres, and Volkswagen Motorsport.